My name is Scott Andrews, and I serve as a senior pastor here at Alliance Bible Fellowship. It's great. We're an elder-led church. That's a significant part of our story, and I think very helpful to me as the lead pastor to have a group of men serving alongside me that have helped carry in many ways, they carry the load, and I haven't been responsible to do that. I've been able to do my job, what they've called me to do, what God's called me to do, and have guys that have really led this church. I'm an elder, but just one of many, and very, very thankful for them because they've helped carry this load when it comes to things like building. The church was founded in '78 and eventually, pretty early on, moved into a building that was downtown Boone. And but it was a big building, 9,900 square feet, 38 parking spaces. And when I came, that's where we were. And we outgrew that and moved to this location where it was a Christian school. So that was kind of our first move. We had to find a new place that would accommodate a growing church, and so we moved to this Christian school and started meeting in the gym. And we thought we'd died and gone to heaven because, wow, we were able to be in one service, and we went from 38 parking spaces to 120, and it was just great for 10 months. And then we had to go back to 2 services, and then by 2005, just a few years later, we were in 3 services, and people were parking in the fields around the church building. And so that's when we began in earnest discussions about, well, we either need to relocate again or buy some land and build, or perhaps build on the current property. And that's what we decided to do, was build on the current property, and began the process of raising funds with the church family, and let them know about our plans in 2008. And heard about J.H. Batten through our fundraiser. So we contacted them, and it was great from the very, very beginning. They helped us, the design build firm, they helped us design this building, and we were very clear from the beginning that we were going to do this as monies were available. We didn't want to incur too much debt, and we were hopeful to do it as little debt as possible, let's say it that way. And so we began building. A funny story was in '09 is when we broke ground with parking. We needed parking and things like that. And they came to us, J.H. Batten did, and said, steel is going up. Not maybe, it is going up at the end of 2009. And you have $700,000 worth of steel in your plans. So it's going to save you $70,000, 10%, if you'll let us put this up now. And we said, okay. And so we did. We erected the girders that were here for 3 years. And I'm sure people drove by our church going, what in the world is wrong with these people? But it ended up being a wise financial decision for us, and also kept before us that we were in the building program. And so we, again, as monies were available, we built the building and moved into half of it. That would included an atrium and an educational space. Batten helped us with that, and we were able to get our CO and occupy that. But this room that we're in now, this auditorium, it's a 1,050-seat auditorium. We didn't have the monies at that time, but again, they worked with us, and so as those monies became available, and we borrowed a little bit of money, we finished this. I guess it was 10 or 11 years from the day we began the process to moving in October of 2019. So yeah, it was as we talked about, Andy, it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of planning, there was some fundraising. People gave very generously. They were very excited because the building that was built was great, and it served us extremely well. But again, I had elders who headed this project up, and it wasn't me. As close to as I got to being responsible for this was J.H. Batten gave me a hard hat so that I could walk in here whenever I wanted to, because I had to have a hard hat, and so I could walk in and look around, and that was kind of fun. But Paul Branch, who has been at this church since 1980, who was a elder in this church for an uninterrupted 38 years, is one of my heroes. He took on the responsibility of leading this building program, and he was here every day. In fact, we joked about we needed to get him an office, and he was here every day and working closely with J.H. Batten, and he answered their questions. He asked the questions that needed to be asked, and I got to continue being the lead pastor of this church and doing what I was called to do, and be a teacher and leader and elder. And Paul, who was still an elder at that time, took care of this building responsibility. He's kind of bequeathed that responsibility to Jim Loscheider, who's part of our building committee now, one of our elders. Jim and I go back 30 years, all the way back to Colorado. But he has now taken on the responsibility of some other building projects that we've done here with J.H. Batten, to include the current one. We're building an awning. Doesn't sound like a big deal. It's a huge deal because it's between our two, the old building and the new building. It needed to be done, and it's going to have a new drop-off area. We're really excited about it, and Jim works with that. I don't think I've had one word of communication with Batten. There was no question that we were going to call Batten to do it, but I haven't had to talk to them. I get to do my job because I have these guys that I can count on and trust implicitly to lead in this particular, in the current building program. And J.H. Batten, of course, has been there all along to help us. I've said it to our elders, I've said it to our church leaders a million times, and it's probably become a redundancy, but I can't imagine doing the job of being a pastor without having godly people to surround you and we lock arms together and do the ministry together. This is not my church. I'm not the CEO. I'm not the guy that is responsible for deciding what chairs we're going to have. I didn't know till they showed me, and what colors we were going to use. I have a group of very godly people who are faithful, who want to do things with good stewardship and handle God's money. This isn't our money, it's His money, and handle His money well and faithfully. And having a group of people, particularly our elders, who serve so faithfully and so well, that I have not had to carry that burden. And you said that study was done that 85% of pastors quit ministry altogether after a building program. Well, we finished this in 2019. It's 2024, and I'm planning on going another 10 years. I've been here 27. I love this church. This is where God's called me. I had no desire when I came here to kind of stair step and go from place to place. They're going to bury me here, and we don't have a cemetery at the church property, but I'm going to stay here, Lord willing, until He calls me home.